You guys, this shot looks like crap and I'm sorry. So, what is up? Welcome back. We just had a hurricane blow through here. We caught a bunch of bands from it, and so the clouds are being really chaotic and obnoxious. So it's like sunshine and it's just like crazy gray and blue and whatever. I hope that it makes this video okay to watch. Either way, I am so freaking excited to be sharing with you guys today the brand new Huetopian Dream palette from Miss Pat McGrath, the queen herself. So I have it right here. This is the Mothership 9. Wow. Wow, there we go. Holy crap. So there's that. And I am doing this video as a collab with my good friend, Amanda Z. One specific... She sometimes resides in the closet behind me. She's not here today because she's filming her own version of this video, and we basically both bought this palette and decided to honor one another with it because of all of the beautiful makeup that she plays with on her channel, she had never touched a Pat McGrath product, and when she came and did a collab in person with me, she fell head over heels in love with this palette, which is one of my favorite palettes of all time, maybe my favorite palette of all time, the Mothership VII Original Divine Rose. It is the easiest, most intuitive, but also really exciting palette that I've ever had. I've reviewed this palette many times. There are lots and lots of videos of it, but I am going to, in fact I already have, swatch it against the new one here and just compare and contrast visually. I'm not going to put the other one on my face, but we will chat through the differences here, of which there are quite a many, and then I will do a look for you guys, talk about the claims, the idea behind the palette and everything, the price obviously and whatnot, and then I will close with my final thoughts. But I also need to remind you, because what's going to happen whenever I post this video is I'm going to go and watch Amanda Z's version of this video because I love her so much, and I also love her style of doing makeup. I love that she can take things that are so simple and make them look so scaled up and like fancy, but I also love that she can make things look so incredibly effortless. It takes actually a lot more talent and experience than you would think to make something look really, really effortless. She gets really, really close in. You can see super detailed shots of the textures of all of her products and everything. It's really, really beautiful. If you haven't checked her out already, I'm pretty sure we have like the exact same subscribers. I don't know if there's anybody on my channel who doesn't know who Amanda is at this point, but if you haven't, definitely go check out her channel. I will link it below. I will link her video below. Let's go ahead and jump into the Huetopian Dream palette. Hello! I have no idea what's going on with my camera right now. Ugh. Anyway, let's talk here. Wow! So this is the Mothership VII Divine Rose, and then this is Mothership 9, the new one. They look similar, don't they? They're actually quite different because Huetopian Dream is so much more pink and not quite so cool toned, but it also has a lot more complexity to the textured shadows. So as I'm looking at this, it does feel like a complete idea. It's not like it's a companion palette to one of her other palettes or something, and so you're going to still have these very intuitive transition shades like this, but I do want to point out that like that transition shade versus that transition shade, the two that I would typically use as transition shades. So this is from the older one, this is the newer one. This one is, you know, purple in the pan, but so much browner on my skin than this very, very lavender one from the Divine Rose palette. Divine Rose as a concept is a very, very mauvey kind of purple anchored sort of thing, but I do really appreciate that the Huetopian Dream does have a little bit of that in it because that does flatter my skin better. So those are the kinds of things to bear in mind when you're thinking about a really big purchase like this. $125 palette is, you know, she's got a menagerie of palettes out there, and when I bought the Divine Rose palette, it was by no means new. I bought it because when I looked at all of the ones that she had, it was the one that made the most sense for me and my undertones and my wants and my needs and what I like in an eye look and all of the different adventures that I want to have in a palette, and that is why I love it so much. It's not because I need to shoehorn my wants and needs into a palette just because it's new. Now, I do want to talk about these textured shadows as well, because we have a complete thought here in terms of doing a very everyday eye look. You can definitely get something very tame, very tonal, very skin tonal out of this. I always say it's easiest to work with colors that are close to your skin tone, and these are colors that, you know, you could get away with calling like blushes or bronzers or lip colors or whatever, you know, if that's your undertone, if it agrees with your undertone. But then we do get into no dearth of excitement here. So this one right here, I think is actually my favorite shade in the whole palette. By the way, her packaging is always unbelievable. It's so pretty. So this is the Huetopian Dream packaging. My son had a great time with it. So yeah, that shade is called, the woman has a legacy at this point of puns and portmanteaus of her own inventive making, but this one is called Blitz Sextreme. And it is that just enchanting oil slick kind of shift. It goes green pink. And you can pay a lot of money for, you know, one shadow like that from Natasha Denona, like a liquid shadow. And this one does the trick in one pan. Then we have this wild gold right here called Bronze Solaris 005. And it is quite, it's a very orange gold, like a very, very like fall rich orange gold. And then these two are just the most bonkers things ever. It's Astral Amethyst Moon and Astral Venusian Orchid. So they are that like extra confetti reflective topper, but you can build them up to just getting like a lot of color, but they're going to be a lot more of a glittery presence and probably more intuitive as a topper. So these three right here, the Venusian, the Astral Amethyst Moon, and the Bronze Solaris 005 are all that like, I call it her confetti texture. It's similar to me to like the Wayne Goss Celestial texture, where it's just kind of got that like rough glitter feeling to it, but it's like really, really satisfying too. It's just a really intoxicating thing to put on your skin. And there's only, I believe, one of those, yeah, in this palette. You just get it in this very easy to wear kind of champagne shade, which I already swatched, but I'll swatch it again. It's just kind of this really pretty celestial neutral gold, whereas these get a little bit wilder. So I don't think that you guys want to watch me put the, you know, super tame shades on my eyes. They're very, very pretty, obviously, but we're gonna play with some really fun stuff here today. And I'm gonna try not to make mud, because that's what always happens to me when I play with a Pat McGrath palette for the first, second, third, whatever time, is I can't make any decisions, and so I just kind of put everything on my eyes. I'm gonna try not to make, when you go to the soda fountain and you just punch every single flavor, like it probably tastes fine, but like you can't really distinguish one thing from another and the color is brown. So I'm gonna start though with the intuitive, what's it called? Transition shade, that one. It's called Secret Eden. And it's just a matte. Her mattes are very, very creamy. I don't have to put a primer on with them. And you can build these up, you know, obviously to full saturation on any skin tone, but for me, I really appreciate the fact that they spread so thinly while staying really, really even, because I can get a wash of color without getting myself in too deep too quickly, because I'm going to be using as many shades as I can that makes sense today. Amanda's a very like one and done shadow person, and she inspired me to, you know, get more into that, because I always talk about how you get a little exhausted by the time you get to your eyeshadow routine and your, you know, putting your makeup on process. But I will be interested to see how she does with this palette, because each one of these could be its own one and done shadow, and that leaves you 10 to decide from, and that is frankly a really hard decision. And then I'm just going to take the glittery shade called Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. I actually don't know the library of her palettes well enough to know that if she ever repeats a shade. I doubt she does. But when I opened this, I thought perhaps there might be some in common between the two that I have, but I don't think so. Now it's just so stinking bright in here. We have this shade Shockwave, right? And that thing is pretty out of control. I think, God, you guys, I have to make some choices. We gotta go with Shockwave. I haven't used this yet. Let's see how this goes, guys. Regardless of whether that's your shade, anything to be that pigmented and to spread that evenly with a brush is it's just like, that's what you're paying for. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to like have the confidence that you can paint something like this right on your skin and the formula is going to do the work for you to actually stick. That is the value of such high quality shadows. I want to do a video, guys, coming up, just touching base on the whole new development that just happened in the cruelty-free space. It's just something that like I haven't even looked into all the way yet in order to kind of adjust or form my opinions. So I need to do a little bit of research and that'll probably be the next video. Also, my last video, you guys seem to really, really like, and I super appreciate it. It was the one where I was, you know, basically going through and reacting and debunking stuff from the Gaia TV network, except that I can't monetize it. I doubt they're gonna watch that video and go, yeah, fair use, no worries. So I'm not sure if like you can use a certain amount before it triggers the thing or whether I need to just, you know, get sponsorship outside of YouTube in order to keep doing those, but I loved making that video. Okay, we have a like veritable Bjork situation going on right here and I love it. I'm living for it. And I'm going to take that pink shade and I'm actually gonna mix it, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with that like psychedelic, shifty Blitz Sextreme and use that to start blending into the crease. Ooh, that actually ended up a little darker than I expected. I might pull a little bit of the pink glitter into that as well. Oh my God, but look how velvety they blend. As Tati says, we have to make the same mistake on both sides. Oh, for the record, the changing light is also really annoying for me trying to see what the heck I'm doing. I just know that the detail is better, usually, in natural light. Okay, I have done something. There's like an eyelash in my eye, okay. It is kind of covering that pink up a little bit more than I really wanted it to, but I'm gonna use a little bit of Cosmic Bloom, which is more of a true pink glitter that doesn't shift, and blend in between those. I'm gonna take a flat brush and just kind of distribute that a little bit underneath my eyes as well. Oh yeah, you use Shockwave and you blix it with Cosmic Bloom. Yeah, that is such a mood. That's such a mood. So that is the pink and the sparkly pink, basically. Those two together. They go together amazingly well. So I'm just painting a little bit of Cosmic Bloom onto my lid as well because I feel like it only enhances the illusion, it doesn't take away from it. Yeah. So yeah, now we've got like the matte pink, the glittery pink, and then that weird oil slick kind of color. And I'm gonna work with that just a little bit more, mix it a little bit with the Secret Eden, the first shade that I used, and bring that up and out. And you guys, I don't know, I never plugged this because I'm just, you know, in the moment and I am so grateful regardless, but like we went through that whole thing with Patreon and I was like, oh, you know, I'll open up a Patreon because people are asking me to do a Patreon. And then I realized I was completely in over my head on what is required for Patreon and that creating more content for another platform just put me like, it just put me over the top stress-wise. There is a thank you button for people who just literally wanted to support me. And I think you like can see it underneath my videos. You might have to like scroll over to see it, I'm not sure. You don't have to use it. I could do memberships, but I don't even think I can monetize that video, that kind of video, through a membership. Maybe I can. Maybe we should make them like membership protected, but then people wouldn't be able to find them. And I want people to be able to find them because they're funny. I don't want to do like member exclusive content that's like not my normal content. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of that very, very light shade called Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. I'm going on my inner corner and it lights up my inner corner. I say this all the time, but it is rare that I find an inner corner shadow that actually functions as a highlight shade for me that isn't just pure white, because most of the time they are a little bit darker than my skin tone, especially that part of my face. And so that is utterly wonderful. And there are no matte light shades. By the way, I got new extensions. They're a little overwhelming. The lightest shade in here is actually that iridescent pearly shade, the Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. And I'm gonna use that to kind of clean up a little bit. I haven't done my blush or anything yet, so I wanted to go ahead and see where we're going with my eyes before I did my blush because I had a feeling it was gonna be a lot. Now, the only thing left to do is Astral Venusian Orchid. Holy macaroni, fam. I don't even know where to put that. I think I need to put it like right there. Yeah, I ran out of real estate. I did, and so I'm covering up, uh-oh. I'm not being careful enough either. Oh my God. Space Princess. I just went full Space Princess. Like, just let it be what it is. My white collarless shirt from Fred Siegel. I'm gonna use the Cloud Set in Airy to try and get some of that glitter off. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm just going to be a space princess today. And you know, while we're at it, I'm gonna put a little bit of it right here because I just wanna really be a whole mood. Yes, that is what I want. So you can easily now see that this is a very, very different palette from the original Divine Rose. This is just a lot, like it gives you a lot more opportunity to make wilder looks. It's not necessarily confining you into wilder looks, but like it has a lot more creative opportunity in that respect. So let's go ahead and do some blush. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do my blush. I'm using the Pat McGrath blushes. I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I'm just gonna zoom through it basically, and then we will cut to reviewing the palette. Oh, I hate this lighting. I hate this lighting. This lighting is frankly appalling and you deserve better, and I am so sorry. This is what we're working with today. I don't know. I am, like I said, working on a new backdrop over there, so it might just be artificial light from here on out, but this is the vibe. These are my eyeballs. I think that this is an unbelievably beautiful palette, but I'm going to save my final thoughts to the end. We're just going to talk about the palette real quick. So, Huetopian Dream, Mothership 9, $125, as all of her stuff is. Now, I do want you guys to know that when I am buying stuff for my channel, I do not see price. It is just job to me. So don't think that because I buy a $125 palette that means that that's normal, that you should buy a $125 palette. Like, if this blows your mind and you want to look like a space princess and $125 feels like a manageable amount of money for you to be able to do that, then by all means, treat yourself. Like, this is a euphoric palette to use, but if that amount of money freaks you out, that's also normal. That's a normal reaction to a $125 eyeshadow palette. I just want you to know that from the standpoint of like a makeup lover, these formulas do justify the price if like that color story excites you. Regardless, experience astral projection as you transform eyes into prismatic nebulas with these ultra blendable, hyper wearable hues. I want to hang out with her. I want to have a cocktail or five with her, and I just want to know where she gets her ideas from, because this is just, I love the way that she talks about makeup. 10 cosmically creamy pigments venture from iridescent amethyst and solar bronze to shockingly pink coral. 6 futuristic finishes: velvety matte, mesmerizing metallic, luminous shimmer, mind-altering duochrome sparkle, and transcendental triochrome let you gleam, smolder, and shape your way through a galaxy of looks. All shades are formulated with a next-generation technology to ensure seamless blendability and exceptional wear on every skin tone. Yep, she has some really, really beautiful models of different skin tones on here, and some just some combinations of these colors that frankly give me goosebumps, okay? And it's not like I get that excited only about makeup. I get excited about artistry. I get excited about true inspiration, things that like stimulate me because they're new. And that's what Pat McGrath does for me, is like her stuff is outside of the realm of makeup. It's good art, you know? It's actually original, it's new, it makes you think, it changes the way you think about the medium, and like that is just so incredibly exciting to me. So there are all kinds of different combos you can do with this. She does have like an enhancer, an artistry one, and then there's like a blue lip gloss that goes with this and everything. It's all very, very exciting, but I did just go with the eyeshadow palette because, you know, once I started, I'm not sure I would have been able to stop. But I need to go ahead and jump into my final thoughts. I need to up my ISO. Okay. I need to go ahead and jump into my final thoughts because I'm letting the cat out of the bag so badly right now. I love this palette so much for a completely different reason than I like the other one that I have. The original Divine Rose is so wearable, so beautiful, and so subtle in all of its textures and the differences between them, and just all of the incredibly wearable, smoky, sultry looks that you can get out of, gonna ignore it, out of that palette. But the Huetopian Dream is a totally different mood. It is like, do you want to be a space candy princess every day with a different eye look? Because the thing that I think is blowing my mind about this palette right now is, as I was, you know, swatching them on my arm and working them on my eyes and everything, and the last couple times that I've used this to make different looks on my eyes, I realized that the possibilities here are way, way bigger than the original one that I have. There's something to be said for the Divine Rose. Yes, absolutely. It is to me a much more wearable palette. It's going to appeal to more customers because it's just closer to natural skin tone values in a lot of ways. This is definitely a little bit more out there. It does still have some tame colors, so it can be an all-in-one palette for you if these also excite you and you'll get use out of them. But like, what in the heck? I don't own anything that can do that. That is what I call excitement, okay? That is an eyeshadow look that is wild and out there, but I'm gonna get so many compliments on it because it looks engineered by a genius, you know? And I am not that good at putting on eyeshadow. You guys know that. So I always say this, but like her combination of making a formula that is incredibly satisfying to use, like always surprising, but also extremely user-friendly and blendable is remarkable to me. That, you know, pays for itself. But the excitement that's in this palette, the fact that she packed this full of these 3 crazy confetti shimmers, there's just so many possibilities here. And when I went on her website and I saw what she had done with this orange color, doing this crazy, amazing halo eye with it, it made me want to wash all of this off and do that. It just has so many possibilities. It's a truer, to me, a truer artistry palette, whereas the Divine Rose is a much more wearable, everyday palette for like a pretty normal makeup consumer, which I would consider myself to be actually kind of both. You know what I mean? These are 2 very, very different moods that I have in my repertoire. But am I glad that I have this? Absolutely. Does that mean that if you have one and you're very satisfied with it, that you need the other one? Not necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that they're different and distinct enough that you won't be like, oh, these are just dupes when you get them in your hands. So again, I don't want to tempt anybody with a $125 palette if that's not something that's like a reasonable and comfortable and like purely 100% heck yes kind of purchase for you. But I do want to show you that as usual, Pat McGrath has met and exceeded my expectations and then just blown my mind right on top of it, because this is just the most like unbelievably bonkers set of colors and textures. And now I get to go pick my kid up from daycare with this like insane eye look on. It's so exciting. Like, it's another one of those palettes where I would wake up in the morning and be like, I get to use my Pat McGrath palette this morning, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely something to be said for that, and it is a very luxury experience. Her packaging is just gorgeous. I hate my light. I'm so sorry. I will figure it out. This is so aggravating. Dang hurricane. But if you have not already checked out Amanda's video, please go do that. If you're not subscribed to her, definitely do that. I cannot wait to see what she did, because like I said, the possibilities, the combinations in this palette are absolutely endless. If we ended up with the same eye look, I will eat my hat. But I hope you guys did enjoy this today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today, and look forward to more looks with this palette because this is not the last you're going to see of her. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.